Alright, so I'm gonna sound really hype in this video, but just before we start, I want to say that I don't really lose sleep, nor do I care that much about pretty much anything that happens on social media as far as drama-wise goes. However, looking at the business aspect of the cancel culture is truly amazing. Like watching these creators with tons of evidence against them go off, anime outplay their opponents and all of a sudden get out of any situation they possibly get into is honestly one of the most interesting things to look at. But with that out of the way, cancel culture doesn't work. And I'm gonna be explaining why.
But what about David Dobrik and James Charles?
Shh. I'll get to them in a moment, don't worry. Now everyone knows what cancel culture is, but let's describe why it's important. To put it simply, we need some way to keep YouTubers in check. We give these people who are just like you and me a platform, money, fame, people who possibly never had anyone listen to them in their entire lives. We give them this platform and put them on a pedestal and expect for none of that to go to their heads. So now we have cancel culture, which is supposed to be the public's way of being able to control these influencers, if you will, which would be fine, you know, if it worked. I unironically do that in real life. God, I watch too much anime. In order to explain why cancel culture doesn't work, we need to look at an old adage. All publicity is good publicity. For example, the like to dislike button. YouTube treats likes and dislikes the exact same. So by showing your disgust for a video, one of the only ways that the public has to interact with a video and tell people, hey, this is how I feel about it, it actually helps them. It would be like punching an enemy, but that punch healing him and then doing that damage to yourself. You know what? No, that's too simple. It buffed him as well. Same with comments as well. Saying your negative thing, telling an influencer, oh my God, do better at all of this other stuff, isn't going to do anything. It still gives them just as much search relevance as a good comment would. And the reason is, if you are ready to talk about someone, regardless of what that is, that's good for YouTube. YouTube cares about one thing, making sure that you keep coming back to the app and you keep watching. So whether or not you hate a creator enough to talk to them, or heck, even hate watch them, or you love a creator, both of you are just as useful. And honestly, haters are more useful, but we'll get to that later. So one of the public's only ways to deal with the people we put into power helps them. Great. You know, it's really funny. We gave these people power by attention, and we try to take it away with attention. It's literally like trying to fight fire with fire. If you dislike a YouTuber and you decide to hate watch them, hate comment, dislike, all you're doing is helping them. That's it. And what's worse is some people actually decide to talk to other people about that YouTuber. Which brings us to a topic that's called earned media. Basically, earned media is any advertisement a YouTuber gets for free. They don't have to pay for. By you talking to your mom, dad, friend group, posting it on your own social media about how you hate this person and how they're doing bad, you're in turn helping them even more because they just have more impressions, more views, more comments, and they didn't even have to work for them. You're working for them, an employee with no pay. Now, this is the main flaw I wanted to mention about cancel culture, because if I talked about the rest of them, this video would be 30 minutes long. Now I think it's time for some real world examples. Remember what I said in the beginning? I'll get to them in a moment, don't worry. Yeah, it's time to talk about it. Computer, compare David Dobrik and James Charles. I really need to buy this thing a voice. So David immediately made an apology, and it was really bad. Nobody liked it. Made a second one a lot. He cried in this one. People didn't like this one either. And in that second video says, I'm going to leave the platform. During this time, a lot of his sponsors pulled out, which caused a lot of people to say, oh, we won, because he's losing a lot of money. Guys, let me tell you a little secret. Your favorite creator probably makes more than you could ever think of. Look, if I'm being completely honest, David Dobrik losing sponsors doesn't really matter. Not only does he have tons of money, but in a few months when he comes back, he'll make some random video like twerking for the homeless. Oh my God, he cried. And then get 100 million views, and his sponsors are going to be coming back like, okay, don't do it again this time. Like, honestly, if you genuinely think about it, every YouTuber complains about how this is a full-time job. But if you think about it, getting canceled is basically like a break with pay. All of his videos are still monetized, by the way, except for like the apologies. And nobody's really rewatching those anyways, except for the people who are hating on him. Now what's interesting is James is much worse. Let's take a look at what he did. Got accused, made a few comments on Twitter. After that, a lot of people considered that a win. But after that, his first tweet slash video back wasn't an apology, wasn't explaining the situation or anything like that. No, his first tweet back was a sponsored YouTube video with Chipotle. He then went on to make 6 videos before an apology. 6! One of them was with a bunch of big streamers. Sounds like a different story, doesn't it? Yeah, exactly. Cancel culture really works. What's interesting is James Charles actually gave us the key to surviving cancel culture. His steps are the workout plan. He genuinely gave us the answer. He gave us the super secret technique, the secret jutsu, okay? This is the forbidden ninja art right here. You ready? All right, get in close, get in close. Ignore it till it goes away. Here, let me say it again, Ignore it until it goes away. Yes, is that simple. That's what this man did. He ignored it for a week and then came back. He didn't need an apology. The apology was a courtesy. It took him like an entire month before his actual apology video came out. And for those of you all who are smart in my audience, which is all of you guys, you genuinely need a 500,000 IQ to watch and understand my videos. You wanna know what he did? Those 5 videos before his apology, those were all to maximize revenue. He knew that he was probably going to either get canceled or have to leave the platform. That was the best business decision. So naturally, 5 videos that were 15 to 20 minutes plus, 2 of which were collabs. Like, look, if I'm being completely real with you, James Charles is gonna leave, come back in like a month, and be good as new. This man is too big to fail. In his apology, he flat out admitted to doing everything. These are actual crimes, and he admitted to doing them all. And if you look at the like to dislike ratio on this video, which again only helped him, it's mostly positive. Everyone who watched the video basically forgave him. And besides, even if he does get canceled, this is the what? The 6th time? Are you kidding me? Are you genuinely kidding me? This is the 6th time my man has got canceled. He's done this 6 times? See, James Charles isn't a part of YouTube where I classify too big to fail. The only way that you can really cancel a YouTuber is to deplatform them. But that moves me on to the next section. How to cancel. Against what society teaches us about how to cancel these influencers, the only way to truly cancel someone is to do one of 3 things. The first one, deplatform them, which is really hard because the only way for them to be deplatformed is for them to leave themselves. And someone like James Charles, someone like David, they're gonna leave for like a week or 2, maybe a month or 2. But then they're always gonna come back. This is their revenue. They're gonna milk it for as much as it's worth. And then when they finally do get canceled, they'll have so much money at this point that they genuinely don't even need it anymore. The second is jail time or forced leave. And that's so hard for us to do as the public. Like, that revolves actual police officers and things like that. So genuinely, we're probably not gonna see that happen for the most part. Everything has exceptions. Stop. And the final one that the public can actually do, you ready for this? Stop talking about it, but mostly for small stuff. You don't watch any of their videos, interact with them at all, no comments, likes, Snapchat, anything, Instagram, none of it. And the only thing you do is you stop talking about them, which is funny because this only works for small petty stuff. Maybe they said a slur or something like that, and you just have to leave them alone. Drop their revenue like that. Sponsors will pull out and you drop their revenue completely. However, if there's something serious like the James Charles, David Dobrik things, we don't have the luxury of being able to not talk about it because we want the victims to actually have justice, get the consequences towards the creator. And the only way to do that is by talking about it. So if it's serious, get the police involved and we have to talk about it. But what's interesting is if we look at certain things like, oh, I don't know, when YouTubers robbed a bank, for example, you know what happened to them? They had a fine. Their fine was probably less than what that video made in the first 48 hours, which is insane to me. So basically, it was a net positive for them, encouraging that behavior. So now the public is at a point where we can't cancel people over small things because the majority of people won't help us. And then on the other hand of it, we can't cancel people for big things because the more we talk about it, the more we give them exposure. And by us giving the video views, it might be used to pay off the fine that they get as their quote-unquote punishment. And you know what's funny? Even if we did have the majority, does it really matter? Most things on social media barely even last a week or 2, let alone a few months. Legitimately, all they have to do is wait it out. It's a waiting game for most creators. You just need to be able to sit there and stomach the bad stuff you're getting. You know what's funny? Like, genuinely, I made this entire video. I wrote out some bullet points for it and all of this other stuff. And I forgot something. The rabbit fan bases and stan. Yes, I forgot completely about those. I haven't even put those in the video yet. So not to mention, even when a creator does something wrong, their entire fan base comes to their aid because, hey, they said sorry, they deserve to be forgiven. Or, hey, they've done good things before. Can we just overlook this one thing? So the public, whose main power is the ability of strength in numbers, is also fighting against itself as well as the creator. But with that all being said, cancel culture doesn't work. This was my talk. Oh my god, I actually had fun with this one. There were some scenes that I got to film outside of this. There was a skit at the beginning. I genuinely enjoyed all of this, not to mention a new camera, so it's not focusing the entire time. I really like this. I really like this style of content, and if you want more videos like this, let me know. If this video does well, I'm perfectly fine with making more videos like this and speaking my mind. But if it doesn't, then that's fine. I'll go back to the news stuff and gaming, photography, tech stuff. I'm perfectly fine with either. But before you guys ask for it, this series will not be put out on a weekly basis. This was way too much work. I physically do not take care of myself enough just normally to put this out weekly. I might genuinely make myself sick. Oh, and the anime glasses thing, yeah, that's actually how I push up my glasses. So make fun of me in the comments. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Please stay safe, have a nice warm cup of coffee, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.